Díobh Gachtain, hello everyone. You're really welcome to the alternative to Scoil na Gláirseach 2020, the festival of early Irish harp which normally takes place each August in Kilkenny in Ireland. Between the 13th and 17th of August 2020, we'll be joining together each day to watch a talk, a workshop and concert footage from previous Scoilna. Find out more on our website at irishharp.org. This is our third and final presentation today, and we hope you enjoy wild dances and plaintive airs.
Welcome to tonight's concert. It's part of an early Irish harp festival which is taking place this week in Kilkenny, Scoil na Gláirseach, which is taking place at Coláiste Pobal Ostroí, and our public events, our talks and concerts are here at the beautiful Medieval Mile Museum. This is our first year here. I think we're really thrilled to be here, so we'd like to thank all the staff for looking after us so well. Tonight's concert, I won't say very much about the performers because I could spend an hour talking about each one. They're all masters of what they do. They all come from incredible lineage and background. I think you're going to have a wonderful time for the next hour. We have another concert tomorrow night, so you can check it out in our flyer. Modesty forbids me saying much about it because I'm involved in the concert tomorrow night. And we have another wonderful concert on Sunday, and each concert is preceded by a talk. So the talks are always free, so feel free to come and join us if you're around. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Unfortunately, someone has to have the banister. If I go like this, sudden move now. We begin. Okay, I'm going to start the proceedings with a piece that was composed by a harper in the late 1600s, Thomas Connell, and the piece is called The Jointure, and it's The Jointure and Jig. And it was collected by Bunting from, we think, Dennis Hampson prior to the 1796 publication, and it's in his first publication. And it contains only the right hand, but it has all the ornaments that Hampson did. So I'm going to do my best with those. And to follow on, I'm going to play one of my own jigs. So the left hand in this is my own interpretation of what it would have been. Thank you. Continuing on with talking about more wild dances and early music. A piece of harp music from an old manuscript of Welsh music that does include the bass hand. This is called the Caniad y Gwyn Bibit, which means the playing of the White Piper, of the song of the White Piper. And the manuscript is very detailed and tells you exactly where to play what, when, and which finger to use to damp the strings. For instance, if you play, I stop, you don't play, you stop the note from ringing and all that. That's all explained very detailed. And I'm going to follow that with another reel called Miss Monaghan, and it's also known as the White Piper in some collections. Yeah, coincidentally, anyway. I did a small bit of tuning on. Hopefully we won't need it again. Pass the ball to Paddy Glecken.
Very quick pass. Right. Just thinking, trying to think what I would play. Can you hear me? Good. I'll go to as the titles of this evening is called, I think, Wild Dances and Plain Taveras. I think if I attempt Plain Tavera first. This is just an instrumental version of a song that took my fancy many years ago, back in the 70s. I first heard it sung by Paddy Tunney. It's a song in English, and it's called The Green Fields of America. It's a song of immigration, that's all it is. But I just think that the air kind of it suits playing as an instrumental piece, so it's Green Fields of America. tune that I learned from the playing of the great Kerry fiddle player Patrick O'Keefe. He was a wonderful player from a place called Sliabloka on the borders of Cork and Kerry, and he was responsible for a whole generation of players. He was a national school teacher, fell foul of the authorities, and decided to become a professional musician and made his living just going around the area teaching people and playing. And it's a tune, again, I think, based on a Scottish song called Johnny Coke.
hear two songs. One of them is a song, they're both Donegal songs. One is a song that was published in America, of all places, in the 1890s, collected from a woman from Ranafast who was living in Audenried in the coal country in Pennsylvania, where many, many Donegal people settled after the famine. The collector was a priest called Father Dan Murphy, and he was from Sligo, from the foot of the Ox Mountains there, which was still an Irish-speaking area in the 1860s when he was growing up. So he went to Philadelphia and he learned to write Irish and began to collect. And he made a huge collection of songs. There are over 1,000 songs in the collection, and we have them in the library in Galway, where they were sent when he died in 1935. And we haven't yet managed to find the money to research these fully, but it's a very rich collection. So this song also existed in oral tradition and was collected from Sheila Gallagher in Dore, and her relative Kitty Gallagher, who was an aunt of Paddy's here, and one of the reasons why I'm singing this song tonight, sang this song in the 1950s, I think, and I got a recording of that, so I'm putting the words from one, she had a couple of verses and there's 6 altogether. So it's called In Fiel a Herdona. It's been ascribed to a poet called Mari Nigone, Mari Chanachtach, but that ascription is not certain. And Mari Chanachtach seems to have come from Westport to Donegal after 1798 and was quite a character according to the folklore of the area, but we have no official documentation about it. So it's a song in praise of place. It's a bit like Hansel and Gretel, where the house is all made of gingerbread and all of that sort of thing. In this song, the rivers are flowing with wine, the honey is flowing down the mountainside, the cobblestones are crusts of bread lined up, and so on. The hunting is great, there's never any rain, the grass is always growing. It's a beautiful place. And this is the reason for this is because there's a good priest in the area, but he's been changed. And the people are unhappy about this, and the poem really is trying to get him to stay. Okay, so here we go. I haven't sung this for a long time, and this is my attempt to try and revive it again. Sham yawl khur falshtig tlo yes kult bagor fasan when ye shedestur na martlis na drurn itar tjula na fares kujmo Bagastun bjar wartan Binnen myrtan sol at jeg søgges sport Sjennemøgges kjål klar ski Binnen liljas narasi Enjem allahan råd Senjem og tida forgari Only the best places have the harp music. So this second song is a song of dejection and sort of toxic masculinity, big theme in today's public discourse. So it's called Gafti Wallabui. It's about an attempt to seduce a young woman, but one that fails due to fatigue and other reasons, probably drink as well. So it was sung by the great singer from Ranafas, Huey Devaney, and his cousin Nelly as well, Nelly Newoni. It's a song I like very much. Some people think it's it's not a very nice song, but I think there's a deep philosophical regret in this song, and that's one of the reasons I like it. It's about the sort of the vanity of existence. It's a beautiful air. I think Derek Bell played it on a Chieftains album long ago. Se gafti walla bui arnyen shingri waviam jabudante walla bri shaltam willam Es beginnt das Leiges de Maschine viel weiden. Gal weiden jirein van am Schahre Hawil dute hinian sich reos uide nach men troye Scheder hom harden med Jira hende sel shura danne trauen began warne herne fakkel bimra nicht Ecclesiat leshoas dulga winches pas regin widiges ri nach mere gebiese Seyrachtiges bisetines ad chleis ad harint nekrir gedenach Nier scheide Nanne weiden jesog valolad forgiges afagel furon neischen
concert tonight, playing to airs and dance music, it kind of put me in mind of the way in which music was divided many years ago in the Irish language, when we were with the Gantry and Glotry, and we don't have much of the Sultry, which is the music of sleep. the Ganthri is the music of Merriment, the Reeds and the Jigs, and the Gultry is the music of Lamentation. But we don't have the Sultry, which is the, as I said, the music of Stephen. We're going to try and play this Sultry now. This is a tune again from the playing of Padraig O'Keeffe, and it's an interesting tune. There's several parts in it, and it's a tune called Curraculla and Champagne, Put the Old Man Asleep. And it's also, there's a version of it in Donegal called it's called By the Lord Harry the Leave You There Rocking the Cradle of Love.
Yeah.
It's the same tune, but this is a particularly lovely version that Padraig O'Keeffe played, which I remember the first time I heard it. It's one of the few tunes that ever succeeded in stopping me in my tracks. It's just not so much even the tune, it's the way he played it. And if you ever get a chance to hear it, it's absolutely it's a very spectacular piece of playing. But I'll just try it here and see.
Plain to Airs. I'm going to play a slow air now that was composed by Tommy Peoples, a great fiddle player who died last year, called The Quiet Glen. And I'll follow that with a Strathspey that was composed by another fiddle player, Liz Carroll from Chicago, and a reel from Liz Carroll called, the reel is called Morse Avenue, and the Strathspey is called Mrs. Carroll, after her mother.
became very interested in the song tradition of Torrey Island, an island off the north coast of Donegal. There's quite a lot of research on that tradition, so I'm going to sing a song from there now. It's a version of a song known on the mainland as Moidín de Mart, and it's about a bride that didn't show up to the wedding ceremony. But I think in this version it's the man who's crying rather than, well, it's the man who's crying, but it was St. Patrick's Day. I think they were supposed to get married on St. Patrick's Day when there was a dispensation from Lent and you couldn't get married. You couldn't get married during Lent long ago. So he's crying about, he's drinking out of his hat, he's that bad. His coat is all torn and he's in a bad way. So this version of the air, it's a well-known air indeed, but this version has beautiful octave leaps in it, which is one of the reasons why I like it so much. And I think maybe the harps might have something to do with that at some point anyway. sig vi känner
Right. Thank you very much. You were great. This is the world premiere of Harp Fiddle Duo, Paul and Betty. We're going to play two tunes, two reeds, and the first one is very dear to me, and I'm very glad to be playing it here because I learned it off Paddy's record from many, many years ago. It's called The Wild Irishman. Maybe Paddy, tell us where it come from.
It's a Donegal version of a tune called The Wild Irishman, which was made famous by great Michael Coleman in his recordings that were sent home in the 40s. But this is John Doherty's version of it. And the other one we're going to play is the
Trip to Doro.
Which is not too far from here. And just before we go, I'd just like to say, just on my own behalf, just want to thank Siobhan for the invitation to come here. I didn't know what I was coming to. I was hugely surprised, and really my heart was lifted when I saw the sort of commitment of everybody to the harp and to the whole idea of where it stands in our tradition, and it's in the context of the music. Thought the talk this evening was really enlightening and some wonderful sounds. So thank you so much for having me. So thank you.